permission to know that you can modify this practice any way you want. So I'm starting with my ball, and I'm going to start working with my hands. And that feels so good. So I always miss all of you, and I do my daily practices, but to really do this with everybody is really just such a joy for me. And so I was thinking about y'all last night. So let's go ahead and let's spread our fingers nice and wide. Try to keep them almost stiff if you can, and then work into the palms and really try to work the ball up between each finger along the palm and all the way down to your wrist. I have my Neuro ball, and I love this ball. And I've got one in the living room too, so that when I'm hanging out in there, I use the ball for different things. And then if it's comfortable, put the back of your hand down on your leg or somewhere, and then just work on the one hand. Okay. And I'm really working between the webbing of the thumb and the index finger, really getting in there, still on the palm side. I'm also going side to side, just above the wrist on the hand. Okay. So not on the actual wrist, but just above it, keeping my fingers as spread as possible. I'm still on the same hand, and I'm going to turn it over. Okay. So now palm is down, and I'm going to work once again between the webbing of the thumb and the index finger. So we're really trying to activate our hands. Our hands are so important. And then see if you can get to the webbing between the next set of fingers, and then the next set, and finally the last set. So if you're using the Neuro ball, you know, it has little tiny nubbies on it, and that activates the nervous system in a variety of ways. And then just go ahead and like flick out that one hand. Just flick it out, kind of flick out those fingers, kind of shake out the wrist a little bit, and also the elbow. Just kind of getting that elbow in there. And then let's go to the other side. So palm is upwards, back of hand is on something. And let's go ahead and work on this palm. And don't hesitate to really press, especially if you've been having any flare-ups with arthritis, okay? So for some reason in the heat of the summer, things like arthritis can start to bother you more, which is interesting. So definitely wake up your nervous system. And then go ahead and go side to side, just above the wrist on the palm. Really try to get in there. This is the hand that I have a little more pain in from all the years I'm right-handed. And then go ahead and turn the palm over and start in between the webbing of the thumb and the index finger. Oh, that feels so good. And then the next set. And those of you who are driving, and the next set. And finally, the last area there, the webbing, and just do that whole back of your hand a little, and then pick up that hand and just flick it out. And so if you're doing a lot of driving this summer, you know that we tend to grip the steering wheel, even though we don't want to, and shake out your wrist and lightly release your elbow. Okay, lightly release that elbow. The elbow, like the knees, is a reflection of the shoulders and the hands. Okay, so you want to try to let that relax a little. And then let's take the ball between the palms and clasp lightly. And on the inhale, come up, bringing elbows towards each other. And as you exhale, open the elbows, round the spine, tuck your chin. And then again, inhale and come up, and exhale and really round that back. Let's do a couple more times here. I'm sitting up on a little bit of a lift. And here's our last time with this. And then come back to center. So keep squeezing that ball. Elbows are as close together as possible. And we're going to do circles. So you're circling the elbow. That's what you're thinking about. The elbows are circling. Relax your head. Any shoulder issues, remember, no sharp pain. So back off a little, other way. Usually the shoulder pain will happen if your elbows are touching each other and you've got shoulder issues. And then let that go. Oh my gosh. Let's just take a moment, lifting the top of the head upwards, dropping the hips downwards, and then place that ball on the side here where the neck meets the shoulder. Drop the side of the head, squeeze up the shoulder, and let's go ahead and roll the head forward and back. Try to really relax your jaw here. Ah. So I woke up with a lot of tightness in my neck, so this feels really good. And then come back up to center. And let's go to the other side. So we drop the side of the head, we lift the shoulder and begin that rolling. You're massaging that place that's behind the ear on the skull. It's called the mastoid. And that's the area to massage. Oh, there's a whole lot of muscle connection there, including the jaw. And release. Oh, that feels so good. So let's put these balls away or to the side so you don't hurt yourself. I'm coming off of my lift and I'm going to bring my legs wide apart. So really wide apart. My feet are as wide as the mat. They could even be wider. Lean back, keep your spine straight, but lean it back. And then let's begin with windshield wipers. So you know that as we begin, we don't push, we just allow the hip to open and close as best as it wants to. And that's how we get the fluidity. Oh yeah, that feels pretty good. Then drop it to your left. So I'm on my left. Bring your feet in closer. You're on your left butt and we're getting ready for our dolphin diving, okay? So hands are wide apart. And here we go. On the exhale, skim your nose along your knee. And on the inhale, bring it back up. Every time you skim down, you're really pulling your belly in. So we're really working the upper back. Very important for women, especially as we're aging. And let's do two more. I'm getting some good, healthy clicks in my spine. And here's the last one. And come up and stay there. So my chest is over the knee. I'm holding and breathing. So you can stay here or walk your hands forward and see if you can lay your chest right down on your leg or stack your fists for your forehead. See if you can support your head somehow as you drop down and take several nice deep breaths here. This is one of the safest ways to stretch the outer part of the hip. And then come back up. So we're going to stay on the same side. We're going to take our left palm and press it down so it's away from me. Start with your right hand on your right hip and see if you can lift that whole leg. So you could stay there and then maybe straighten and bend. Every time I straighten, I spread my toes and I pull my toes towards my face. And let's do a few more times. Oh yeah. So you can be leaning quite a bit. You can even put your arm up, which is a little more work in the belly area. Here's our last one. And just hold. And then place it down. Bring those legs forward again, nice and wide. Once again, windshield wipers. And I don't know about you, but for me, that side I just worked on is more, it feels a little looser, a little more fluid. And then let's come over to our right. Let's adjust ourselves again. And here we go, dolphin diving. I want you to really think about your upper back. That's the area that gets kind of cemented in place, especially if you're at the computer a lot. And also if you're driving a lot this summer. And let's do two more. And here comes our last one. and just come up and hold here, breathing here. And then decide, you could stay right here or walk those hands forward, drop down, try to rest your chest right onto your leg if you can, and breathe here. And for yourself, notice, is this side a little tighter in that outer hip? For me, it is. So I'm taking a few more breaths there, trying to let it drop down. Remember, the hip joint's very heavy. And then come back up. Whew. Let's take the right palm, put it down, hand on your hip, and lift that leg. So you could keep it here or put it back down, or join me in opening and closing. Every time you're trying to spread those toes. And if you want, lift your arm. That looks so good. Really working with this whole body this morning. Tucson is totally heating up this week. I'm like, oh my God. And then hold. Let's just hold it out there. And bring it back down. Okay, let's have our legs nice and wide, leaning back. And once again, now check in both sides, both hips. So if you're looking for something to do to really work with the hip area, this is it. And you can do it at any time during the week. So good before bed. And then come back to center. I'm going to turn sideways. Okay, we're coming into our first boat pose right now. Find it any way you want. So I find that this is a pose that people don't typically do on their own. Okay, so here it is. Here it is in our class. Hold here, breathing. We're going to hold a little bit more. Try to lift your chest. Remember, you can always put your toes down, gaze up, relax your face, and rest. And when I say rest, I mean really let your head hang here. Let it go. Okay, from here, we're going to bring our feet in a little closer, keep them nice and wide, plant your palms, and we're going to come into 3 tables. Okay, so here we go. Inhale up, lift the throat. Exhale down. Feel that chest area. Again, inhale up, try to squeeze between the shoulder blades. Exhale down. Here's the last one. We're going to try to hold here. Now, press your feet evenly down into the floor. Lift your butt. Open that upper chest. And come back down. And once again, rest. That is something also that we typically don't do on our own. Okay, let's bring the right knee in. Okay, the right heel in, I should say. Extend out the left leg. And let's move right away to one of our rotations, okay? So I'm using the hand behind me to push down into the mat in order to lengthen my spine up and rotate my upper chest. So think about upper chest here. See if you can get that knee to come in a little deeper towards your body. Breathing here. Last couple breaths, if you want to take that hand that's behind you and take it along the low back, go ahead. And then come back to center, facing your forward. Get a hold of that foot or that ankle, and let's lift it up. Now go slowly, because I'm trying to keep my right thigh right on my chest. And if you can get as big as I'm trying to get here, lift your elbows, look up, breathe here. It's a bit of a balance. It's definitely a bit of a balance. And then bring it back down and lengthen out. And let's go ahead and release those knees a little bit by working your ankles, your feet. The ankles get so stuck, especially if you're doing a whole lot of hiking, walking, running, things like that. Okay, so you want to really get them open. Now we're going to bring legs together, unless you'd rather go to that table pose again. Otherwise, legs together, toes are spread, plant your palms. Here we go. Reverse plank. Hold here and breathe. Hold here. Breathing, try to lift the chest higher. Try to lift the butt up. and come back down. Whoa. Okay, other side on that rotation. So now I've got my left foot coming in and I'm turning. I'm trying to turn deeply through the low belly. And then I'm using the hand behind me to push down to help me open my chest. Don't forget to activate the other leg. So these are the cues that are so important that bring us into that deeper awareness. That's what we need right now. We need to be aware, to stay focused, and then to take action in the things that we feel are so important. Now, if you want to, the last couple of breaths, take your hand along the low back. Some of you can get those fingers right over to that right hip. And unwind. Let's bring that leg down. Let's move those knees again and ankles. We're coming into another boat pose. All right, so today's the day. I haven't seen you all in 2 weeks. Okay, so today's the day we're moving from one pose to the next, but we're staying focused on breath. Find your boat pose. Find it now. Try to really lift up this upper chest and push it forward. That's the hard part. And then if you can, really open up those arms, roll them back a little bit. Some of you can start to work to straightening the knees, little bits at a time. Now here we go. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, Dandasana. Hold here, breathing. Your modification would be arms down, okay? Otherwise, hold here, look at your toes, spread them, pull them towards your face, push your heels away from you. Hold here a little bit longer, and then plant your palms again and decide if you're going to do table pose with knees bent or reverse plank. And here we go. This is the opposite of everything we do all day long, which is why I wanted to get it into the practice early. Hold a little bit longer. And then go ahead and come down. When we really work with that back body, we feel more awake, okay? And that's a for sure, honest to God thing. Okay, let's go ahead and cross our legs if you can comfortably. Okay, and try to sit up as tall as you can. You can always find a lift if you need. Now we're going to take your left hand over to your right knee. Okay, roll both shoulders back and down and take your right hand way behind you as you find a deeper rotation. So I'm pulling the navel center in towards my spine. I'm using my breath to inhale upwards, up along my spine, right up into my head. My exhales are more creating that rotation. And come back out, sit up as tall as you can, really trying to stay long, nice and long, and then go to the other side. Now, if you're having any pain in your spine while we're doing this, don't go as hard. Back off till you don't have that sensation of pain. Nice deep breaths here. Remember, our rotation is the goal, but what's even more important is elongation. So elongate upwards and then rotate. And just another breath. And then come back down. Whoa. And let's take our legs forward again. We're coming into another boat pose. This time I'm facing all of you. And here we go. Here we go. Push those legs up. Gaze up. Remember, where your gaze is where your pose goes. So you want to open up that chest. Don't hold your breath. We're going to do that Dandasana again. So inhale, arms up. Exhale, Danda, staff pose. Hold and breathe. Toes towards your face. Try to really reach those arms up. And then release. Woohoo. Okay, So where we're headed next is down on our backs, okay? So have your straps ready in case you need to use them. Tuck your chin and roll yourselves down. So you're always doing this carefully. Oh yeah, that feels so good. Okay, and then let's take our hands on our knees, keep the knees wide, and just rock side to side. I love this movement so much that you'll find me doing it at different times throughout the day in my house. It really helps to settle me because lately I've been more anxious, more nervous, worried. And I don't want to walk around like that. I want to release those sensations from my body so that I can be more clear to take action. And then come back to center. Okay. Now lift your legs straight up to the ceiling, spread your toes towards your face. So your legs are about maybe 10 inches apart. So then take your arms overhead behind you and let them rest on the floor if you can. Palms are facing the ceiling. Push your heels up more, drop your butt down. Push your heels up more, drop your butt down. So you have a slight lumbar arch. Hold their breathing. Then take the left leg all the way down to the floor and pull your right knee in. I'm clasping around my right knee to pull it in, but you might be clasping behind it. Okay, so whatever works, or you might be using a strap, right? Now, shoulders come down and shoulder blades come right down to the mat. That's really important. And I want you to exhale and pull that knee in even deeper. Chin is tucked. And again, exhale, pull it in nice and deep. And then release it and take your right palm onto your right knee, right on top. And let's start to stir that hip joint. So nice big circles. Just take your time. So we want to feel a complete circle. We don't always though, right? And then other direction. Once again, if you've got a cramp or you have some sudden sharp pain, move away from it. Don't go as deep. And then come back to center. Let's switch hands. So now your left palm is on the right knee and the knee is bent, and we're going to take an exhale as we take this knee and hip over the body, but keep the head to the right. And then inhale it back. And let's go again. Exhale. Try to keep your right chest down. Inhale back. Let's do 4 more on your own. This is such a nice way to relieve the tightness of the chest, which, by the way, gets naturally tight as we're feeling scared or nervous, anxious. Now, let's stop in the full pose and breathe here. My left elbow is down on the floor. My knee is not, okay? It doesn't go all that way without hurting my shoulder. And nice deep breaths here. Try to make that right shoulder nice and heavy. And then come right back up to center. Let's straighten that leg straight up to the ceiling and take your palms behind your right thigh, okay? Not your knee, but your thigh. And then shoulders come down to the mat again and pull your toes towards your face and push that heel straight up. Before we go any further, I want you to think of a push-pull, and I want you to push your thigh into your hands and your hands into your thigh. Keep pulling your toes towards your face and keep dropping the shoulders to the mat. This is an isometric strengthener. And then let that go and release your hands and look for your strap or your elastic. I'm using an elastic around my foot. And go ahead and once again, bring that leg straight up, okay? And if you've got the elastic, you can actually pull on it much deeper. You decide though, and that works your bicep muscles. And now take that straight leg as close in towards your face as you can. Don't tip your head back. Hold their breathing. Saying good morning to hammies, right? And then hold on to the strap with your right hand, both sides of the strap, and let's open that leg out to the side, out to the right. Try to keep the big toe of that right foot about equal to your shoulder. That's hard to do. Check in with your left hip. Don't let it pop up at all. So use deep exhales here. Deep exhales. Turn your head opposite. Push the right heel towards that side wall. Yeah. And then bring the leg back up. So your whole back body should be relaxing, that whole spine area. Let's switch hands. Okay, now this one's harder for me. Let's take that leg over the body, including the hip. The hip picks up to come over, but the right shoulder is trying to stay down. Once again, my left elbow is down on the floor and I'm pushing my foot, my bottom of my foot into the side wall. Hold there and breathe. Yeah, good. So we just had somebody join us. Welcome. Oh yeah. We're going to hold a little bit longer. I know that's the hard part. And then come back up. Oh yeah. Let's choke up higher on that strap or elastic. Take a deep inhale. We're going to blow out really fast and hard. Lift your chest, your head, tuck your chin, forehead towards your knee. We're taking sips of breath here, sips of breath. And come back down. Release the strap. Just drop it to the side. Bring both knees in. Bend your knees, bring them in wide. And once again, rock side to side. So you may not have done much of a yoga practice in the last 2 weeks, or you may have. But if you haven't done practices like this, you might be really feeling it. So I want you to be really aware of what you need right now. Okay, we're going to drop the right leg down, clasp around or behind the left knee, and pull it in deeply, tucking chin. Using your exhales, pull it in even deeper. Hold just a little bit longer. Apanasana. And then release. Left hand to left knee. And let's stir. Let's stir the hip joint, stir the pot. I just had a big click in my hip. I'm like, thank you. And then other direction. So when I get stuck in places in my body, especially in the hip joints, and they finally let go, there are clicks for me. That's not for everybody though. And then come back to center. Let's clasp behind the thigh and lift that leg as straight as you can. Spread your toes, toes towards your face, shoulders down. Now, try to pull those toes towards your face as you push the thigh into the hands and the hands into the thigh. It should feel strong. It's an isometric strengthener. Hold a little bit longer. This, by the way, is really good for bone density. And release. Oh yeah. So before we go any further, we're taking both knees in again, but keep them wide apart and just rock just a few times, just a few times. Okay, now take the right leg down again and take your right hand onto your left knee. And here we go. Exhale and bring that knee and hip across the body. And inhale back. And do this 5 or 6 more times on your own. Every time you bring that knee across the body, you're trying to take the head opposite. So to the left with the head. You're trying to keep the shoulder down, but mine comes up a little. So you can feel this working into the waist area, into the side ribs. Now hold this last one, hold it. And come back to center. Let's look for our straps and bring it around that left foot and straighten that leg straight up. If your low back is bothering you at all right now, please bend the other knee and put the foot flat, okay? Otherwise, go ahead and work into this first part of the pose where we push the heel up, toes spread, and they come towards your face. Now, I feel right away that these hamstrings on this side for me are tighter. Hold and breathe. Chin is tucked. Try to bring this leg in a little closer. Got to keep the deep breath going. Then go ahead and hold the strap just in your left hand. And here we go. Let's open that leg out to the left, head to the right. Check in right away with your hips. So if those hammies are tighter on this side, that right hip's going to want to pop up right now. Try to keep it down using deep exhales. Push the foot bottom into that side wall. And then bring it back up. So we're going deep today, but a little slower. Let's switch hands and begin to take the leg over the body. Oh yeah, there it is. For me, definitely, I'm feeling different feelings in this side of my body. Let's really let the head drop opposite. That left hip is lifted off the mat, and you're pushing the foot bottom into the side wall as though it could touch the wall. And come back up. For me, I had to really focus on my breath there. Okay, go ahead and choke up high. Here we go. Deep inhale. Exhale, blow out. Tuck your chin. Bring the forehead towards the knee. Hold and breathe. The knee can be bent a little bit. Little sips of breath. And bring it back down. Let's remove that strap. And let's bring both legs up and bicycle. And really bicycle with arms as well, like really working arms and legs. Oh yeah. And feet come flat. And take your hands to your belly, close your eyes. Take some full deep breaths right down into your hands. Every exhale is just a letting go. You can even sigh it out if you want. 2 more times. Now, if you have a block, find it. If you don't want to use one, you don't have to. We're going to take the block between the thighs closer to the knees, okay? We're going to walk the heels in for our comfort. And we're getting ready for bridge pose. Okay, so before we begin, make sure you spread your toes, plant your heels firmly, and I want your palms up. So palms are up so that you can really push the backs of the arms into the mat. And here we go. Inhale, come up. If you have the block, it's going to feel more intense. Exhale, down. And do that again. Inhale, up, really push your heels. Exhale, down. If you want a little more intensity, push into heels and lift the rest of your foot off the mat. Okay, here we go again. Inhale, up, really open up the chest. Exhale, down. Last one like this. Inhale up and hold. Hold and breathe. And if you want to, you can go ahead and clasp underneath. If you've got the block, you're squeezing it. You're pushing the heels firmly down. And come back down. Remove the block and go ahead and lift your legs straight up. Once again, straight up. So feet bottoms are facing the ceiling and arms are wide out to the sides, and just breathe here. Oh yeah. Okay. Now feet come back down again, but this time they come as wide as your mat and they turn out a little bit. Arms come by your sides. So we're going to do now a set of bridge poses where every time we come up on the inhale, the arms come behind. Okay. So most of you know this. Here we go. Inhale up, hold for a moment, exhale down. Don't go too fast. I want you to feel it. Inhale up, really working with the sides of the body. Exhale down. Now 3 more on your own. I want you to notice if you have a wobbling going on. Notice if one foot's taking over more. Try to even it out. You have 2 more. Here comes our last one. Stay up. Stay up into it. Relax your elbows so they could be bent. Push a little more firmly through your feet bottoms. See if you can work into your glutes, not your low back, your glutes. And come back down. Bring those knees in nice and wide and just hold there breathing. And then if it feels good, hands can come behind the knees and feet bottoms towards the ceiling. Or if you want to go to holding ankles or feet, and we're going to bring it into a static happy baby pose. So knees could stay bent. Make sure your shoulders are down. Or if you've got enough length now in your hammies, just try to straighten your knees nice and wide. Chin is tucked. And then let that go. And let's go ahead and bicycle. So we just did a journey here. We're not quite done, but this journey is to open the hips better and to work with the low back. So now put both feet flat and we're going to cross the right outer ankle over the left knee. Okay. So we're getting into our reverse pigeon, or also called 4 square. Some of you know it like that. And then lift both knees towards your face. And take your right hand between your thighs and either clasp behind your left knee or around the left knee. Oh yeah. Now, chin is tucked, head is down. Try to push the right knee away from you with your right elbow while pulling the left knee in. Nice deep breaths here. This is a really safe way to work with this pose. Let's release and bicycle just the legs, not too fast. And then start to enter the other side. Okay, remember your outer ankle's coming over the knee so that you can still control working with the foot. Find your pose. Oh yeah. Try to tuck the chin, back of head stays down, shoulders are down, use your breath. I definitely feel a difference between the sides of my body today. And I'm asking myself, what did I do in the last couple of days? Because it must be something that really pushed it off balance. Couple more breaths. Actually, I feel it coming to a better balance now. And let that go. Woo. And let's bicycle nice and big. So remember, you can modify any of these poses. You don't have to go as deep as I'm suggesting. And now put feet flat. Okay. We're going to bring feet close to each other and heels in close to your butt, okay? And then come up again to a bridge pose and either push the shoulders down super hard or clasp underneath and push them down, okay? Then give it a try. Lift your right leg straight up. Hold and breathe. Push that foot bottom to the ceiling. Bend that knee and slowly come down. And let's go to the other side. So this is for the whole deep core muscles. Hold their breathing. Try to keep the hip lifted. And then slowly come down. Find the full pose. Release. Hands on belly, eyes are closed. If you need to release your neck a little, just turn your head side to side a few times. Nice, easy breaths right into that belly. Okay, so now to complete this whole little set we've just done, we're going to try to do the full Apanasana. So that's both knees into the chest. And ideally, knees stay together. Now that can be hard to do, okay? So they could come apart and you can hold each knee separate, okay? But if you can, your knees come together, you lift your head, you clasp around both knees and try to get opposite elbows, chin tucks, and then back ahead comes back down. So that's Apanasana. And you're trying to relax the shoulders right back down to the mat. So either way, knees could be apart too, toes spread. And let that go. Bring the legs straight up again. But this time, legs are together. Push the heels to the ceiling. And then listen to my instrucciones, okay? We're going to take our hands behind our head and clasp. And put your head back down and open your elbows. Then bend your right knee in towards your chest and start to lower your left leg to where it's just hovering. Now, if that's too much, you know you can put the leg all the way down. Here we go. On the exhale, left elbow, right knee, chin is tucked. Inhale, come back. We're doing 10 of these. Here we go. It's number 2 right here. On your own. Remember, it's the exhale and the chin stays tucked. I'm just approaching number 5 now. And I'm approaching number 8. 9. And here comes 10. I know it's a lot. Hold 10, hold it there. Chin is tucked. Come back. Legs come straight up. Hand stays behind your head if you can, and even lengthen that back of your neck. Use your hands to do that. Drop your elbows down. We're going to the other side before we don't want to. Let's bring the left knee in. Bring the leg down to where it just hovers. That makes it the most challenging. So you can put it up higher or take it all the way down if you need to. Here we go. Exhale, 1. Inhale back. Exhale, 2. Inhale back. Fire exercises. Continue. So good for digestion as well. That was 5 for me. Here comes 8. Coming on to 10, gonna try to hold it. Chin stays tucked. Come back, both legs straight up. Remove your hands from behind your head. Take your arms nice and wide on the floor. pull your toes towards your face. Just hold here breathing, just hold here breathing. Now, keep your left leg as straight up to the ceiling as you can, chin is slightly tucked. And on an exhale, slowly lower your right leg till it's almost to the floor and bring it back up. If this hurts, keep your knees bent. Here's the other side, coming down at a slow to moderate pace. I'm towards the bottom now, and I bring it back up. You bring it back up fast. And here we go, right side, slow to moderate. I'm just about at the mat, and I bring it back up. Chin stays tucked. Other side. And back up. And we just have 2 more. Here we go. And back up. Here's our last one. I can't wait till it's done. And back up, both knees in. So I don't have my knee, I have my knees bent, but they're not pulled in really tight, but they're together. And now I'm going to circle. I'm going to circle both knees, keeping them together. And you should feel this as a little bit of a massage on your sacrum. So we've stayed down on our other direction, on our backs for a while here. And that was with a purpose, so that we can really rest our nervous system, but still work very deeply. And that is what we're doing. We're working deeply. So we have one more bridge pose, okay? You decide, what do you want, okay? We're gonna stay in this bridge pose for at least 5 breaths, 5 or 6 breaths. So you decide where you want your legs, if you wanna do one leg up for 3 breaths and then the other. So you decide, and I want you to go ahead and find your bridge pose now. And stay in it if you can. See if you can perfect it. See if you can feel the full heel pressing down. Upper chest really stretching. Chin is tucking towards that chest. Slow exhales. You have about 3 more breaths. And now start to make your way back down, all the way down. Once down, both legs drop down to the floor, arms come overhead, and you're going to stretch just the right side, right arm and right leg. You're going to press them away from you and then release. And then just the other side, and just press that away from you and release. Okay, and then bend your knees, roll to one side, and we're going to roll all the way to our bellies. Oh, how interesting. Oh, I wanted to read you a quick little passage too. I meant to read it sooner. Okay, it's a Mary Oliver. Hello, sun in my face. Hello, you who made the morning and spread it over the fields. Watch now how I start the day in happiness, in kindness. And that's how I feel starting the day with all of you. Definitely, no matter what else happens today. Okay, so we're on our bellies. We've got ourselves in crocodile pose, forehead on backs of hands, legs super wide apart. I want you to take 3 nice deep breaths here. Really complete each breath. That's what we have, what we can control is our breath, and that's so important. Then after that, with legs wide apart, windshield wipers. And then take your legs back down, keep them wide, but on the mat, plant your palms for your first cobra. And here we go. On the inhale, lift. Exhale, down. That nice and slow. Do 3 more on your own. When you get to this third one, see if you can stay up. Remember, you don't have to be all the way up, but it's a sense of opening that chest, of firming down through the legs and the glutes. And then come back down and rest your forehead again. So now you might need to look at the screen to see. I'm going to bend my left knee, my foot's up, but then I'm going to take the leg out to the side. So it's like a right angle. So definitely have a look at me if you can see. And it's a half frog pose. And then I'm going to rest my forehead. Okay. So that's half frog. And if you can't get the knee all the way at 90, that's okay. Now, if you can, plant your fingertips off the mat to the sides with elbows up, and then lift into a partial cobra with the upper body, and breathe here. Shoulders are off the ears. Stay in that half frog and come down. Woohoo. And let's release that leg and bring it back. And go ahead and wag your tail a little bit. And we're going to go to the other side in a moment here. So go ahead and bend now that right knee and then take it out to the side. If you need to have a peek, please do. And you can turn your head and have a look and make sure it's at a right angle. And then once again, plant your fingers away from the mat, okay? And come up into that partial cobra. You don't want to come up too high because you want to make sure you keep that right leg down. And come back down and bring that leg back down. Legs are a little closer together, and wag your tail again. Now, place your arms down for locust pose, Shalabhasana. And as you're ready, take that inhale and lift. Exhale and down. Do 2 more on your own, holding the last one. Here we go. Holding. And releasing with hands under your forehead again. Nice, easy breaths here. Now listen to my instructions. We're going to curl the toes under, legs can be apart, plant your palms, and we're going to try to come up to that plank pose or go through knees first. It's up to you. Here we go. Exhale to plank. Hold and breathe. Make any adjustments here. Remember, you can always come down to knees. Then everybody bend those knees, widen them up, and come back to your first child pose. Your very first child pose. Take your time breathing here. This child pose is the counter pose to everything we've already done. And then from here, come to all fours, adjust those legs, and let's take 3 to 4 cat cows on our own. So good for integrating. Make sure your fingers are spread and try to get them about as wide as your mat now. Because right now, after this third one, we're going to make our way to downward facing dog. Take your time here and right away work into walking your dog slowly. I want you to feel one heel attempting to push down to the mat and then the other, and feel that right up the calf muscle.
And then find your pose. So find your pose. I'm going to have my knees just partially bent. Let your head go. Nice deep breaths here. Then inhale back to plank. Back to plank, hold and breathe. One more breath. Take your knees down. Oh yeah. Adjust your hands because we're moving to sunbird with right arm and left leg. Try to hold this pose nice and strong here. We're going to try to advance it by taking the arm out to the side and bending the knee. You could stay there, or can you get the foot and find your back bend? So you've probably noticed there's several back bends in today's practice in a variety of ways, and that's to get the metabolism from being sluggish. Hold a little bit more. Release right back to that sunbird, and then take an exhale to tiger and just hold. Just hold there, chin is tucked. And then come back to sunbird and put that hand down and wag your tail and release your wrists. That's always the hardest part, right? Okay. And then from here, let's come back to that child pose again. Adjust it for what you need. Try to really relax your shoulders. And come back up to all fours and take 3 cat-cows. We're not going too fast with these. We're really working with the whole body here. And here as we go into the last one, start to adjust yourself for downward facing dog. Once again, find your pose and start to walk your dog again. I'm wanting you to feel your calf muscles evenly stretching. The calf muscles are very important, especially if you have any Achilles or plantar fasciitis. Now find the full pose. And then take an inhale to plank. Hold and breathe. And put your knees down. All right, here we go. We're going to come to sunbird, left arm, right leg. Hold there, breathing. Feel the power here. We've already done quite a bit of work. And if you want to join me now, take the arm out to the left, bend the knee. If you want to go deeper, try to reach back and get that foot, and then find the full pose. Release right back to sunbird. And then take an exhale to tiger. We're holding this tiger. You're breathing little sips of breath. And come right back out to sunbird. And take it down. And this time, really wide knees. And see if you can just drop down and rest. Breathing up and down the spine. Breathing right into the pelvic floor. And then come up to sitting onto heels for just a moment while I adjust my ponytail. Okay. And what we're going to do is take our knees forward, plant our palms, curl your toes under. So my feet are apart. Okay. Then walk your hands back towards your knees, push till your feet are flat, and come into a high squat. My hands are on my knees. I'm tipping my butt back as though I'm going to find a chair. Then find your arms out. Nice deep breaths here. Come up a little bit and open up. We're attempting now to come to toe stand. Here we go. Inhale right up to toes. Hold if you can, breathing. And right back. Here we go. Palms to center. Just take a moment, just feeling this practice, this flow that we started totally differently today, just feeling where you are right now with it. I'm going to come to the front of my mat and take an inhale and lift up so tall. And as you exhale, forward fold. Should feel really sweet. Inhale, come part way up, stretch. And then as you exhale, drop in deep, push your feet bottoms, and inhale all the way back up. Stretch it up, way up high, and right back to heart. And let's do that again. Half salutation, inhale. Oh, it looks so beautiful on the screen. Exhale. Inhale, part way up. Here's your stretch. Exhale, release. Make sure you're planted firmly as you inhale and build the pose all the way up. And right back to heart. I'm going to turn sideways, but you're still at the front of your mat. Here we go. Take that inhale and reach. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, part way up, lengthen. Now, as you exhale and bring the torso down, take your right leg back. And there is our first lunge pose in this format, okay? And please, if you can, keep that back knee lifted. But if you're feeling a little weak or unstable today, put it down, please. Hold there, breathing. Now, that back leg is really strong as I plant my right palm down and open my left chest, my left arm. Try to gaze upwards and breathe here. And then come back. We're going to try to take it to that side angle pose. Turn the back foot, place it flat. Take your left arm onto your bent knee, but have a look. Make sure the knee is pointing your forward, and then find your pose. Find your pose. Breathe into your pose. See if you can even take that arm over the side of the head. And then look down, turn the body, come back to that lunge. Okay, we're going to try to stay here. Remember that knee could come down. Both hands to front knee, lift up your torso. And then can you lift just the right arm? Look straight forward, breathe here. And maybe lift the left arm, but widen up both arms and gaze up. And then take your fingertips down and we're going to come to stepping forward. Inhale, part way up. Exhale, release. And next inhale, come all the way back up. Stretch up. And right back to heart. Right back. And just notice, for me, I feel like my whole body is breathing. And I know it always is, but right now it feels so much more open. And here we go. Take that inhale and lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, part way up, stretch. Exhale, left leg back. Okay, here we are. Try to get that same format. Nice and powerful. That back leg should feel very firm. Place your left palm down. Open your right chest, your right arm. Turn your head to look up if you can and breathe here. And then looking down, turning right back. Oh my gosh. Okay, here we go. Turn that back foot, place it flat, and find your side angle pose. So remember, you could stay in a partial pose without rolling that upper hip open. But if you want the fuller pose, roll open that left hip, lift the left arm, breathe. So remember, the eyes are going where you want the pose to be. So you're opening up. Maybe even lengthening the arm over the side of the head. And then turn your head, turn your body right back. Make adjustments. I just made a little adjustment for my comfort. both hands to front knee. Lift up that torso. Lift up the left arm. Gaze up. Breathe there. And if you want to go deeper, both arms. And release. And we're stepping forward. Take an inhale partway up. And this time as you exhale and drop, bend your knees deeply. Let your head go. Hold opposite elbows. And just kind of move side to side, okay, with the upper body. You're just kind of swaying the body. Back to center, release those elbows. Inhale, reverse swan, coming up. And right back to heart. So that little set there might have given you just a flash of heat. Stay with it. Let the heat be a positive piece here in working with this body. Okay, we're getting ready for our tree pose. So let's first move a little bit. Okay. I have to admit to you that in the last couple of weeks, I haven't done a lot of balancing poses. I have done various yoga practices. We were up in Pine Top and we did some yoga out in the woods. It was so beautiful. So things like that, but I didn't do a lot of tree pose. I did a few. Okay, so where are you going to be? Okay, you decide, and your left leg will be your standing leg. I'm going to come onto the floor. All right, so whenever you're ready, find your pose. We're going to stay in it for a bit. You decide where your hands go, but really try to soften your eyes. I right away bring my awareness down to my foot, and I try to make sure that it's comfortably on the floor and not crunching, but that it's using its full foot bottom. We have about 4 more breaths, and I know that's a lot, but stay with it. Yeah, I see some good balance there. Last breath. Come out. Stand quietly. Just stand. That in itself is a practice. Okay, other side. Other side. I usually do a tree pose every day, but for some reason I've gotten out of the practice of it. And now I'm excited. Now I'm excited, like that's what I'm going to work on now, every day again. Oh yeah. So see if you can find that place where the foot meets the inside of the leg somewhere and you're really squaring off these hips, okay? That's a part of this practice. Find a place for your arms. Your drishti is forward and slightly down. Three more breaths. And here we come out. That was really nice to see all you. And palms face forward. Now, quiet your eyes. You could quiet them all the way to closed, okay? So you decide, but make sure the rest of your body is in full integrity. So if you're staying very self-aware, you're doing frequent body scans to really be still and clear within this body. Yeah, and then let go and move again. And that really helps for any of you that might end up with anxiety, anxiousness, even panic attacks. If you can like keep focusing on all the parts of the body, it's very, very effective. Okay, we're going to come back up to the fronts of our mats. And palms come together. So right now I want you to check in with how the thumbnails are just lightly touching heart space. but the chest continues to be buoyant and broad, very important. And then take that inhale and lift it way up. And now listen to my instructions. On the exhale, right arm, right leg. All right. Okay, nice and wide. And then bend those elbows and take an inhale and first reach up the arms and exhale into goddess. Inhale back up. Exhale, goddess. One more time, reach up and then take that pose. Try to sink into it evenly. Breathing. Lift your right heel. Push the heel back down. Lift the left heel. Push it back down. Try to lift both and stay very powerfully strong here. And push them back down. And now straighten up, lengthen up those arms, and then take them out shoulder height. Turn out the left leg, press back the right heel. I'm trying to keep my legs as straight as possible as I glide myself to triangle pose. So now this is something I have been practicing every single day for a couple months probably. And I've really gotten it to now where I feel it in every part of my body. I'm not using my block as much anymore, but I'm still having that pushing down and rebounding through the body. Hold a little bit longer. And then inhale back up. Now the exhale is going to step us back forward. And palms together right there at heart space. So I fooled you. You didn't know that was coming. And that's part of that stay awake, stay focused. Okay, here we go. Take an inhale and reach up those arms, other side. Exhale, left arm, left leg. And here we go. We're getting ready for that goddess pose. Inhale, reach. Exhale, come down. Don't let these knees drop in, okay? Inhale up, exhale. One more time like that, reach up. Now exhale into that full pose. I'm trying to sink a little deeper, hard to do. Then lift your left heel, nothing else lifts. Hold and breathe. Ah, the goddess, the earth. It's the earth mother pose. Push that heel down, other side. Oh, this earth has done so much for us and we've just done so little for it. And then push it down. Now, both heels. Feel your power. Push both heels down, lift up, stretch up, and then take those arms out shoulder height, turn the legs, and start to find your triangle pose. Yeah. Nice. Take your time here. Oh yeah. So if I can really sink into this hip socket and open this upper part of my body, I can go much deeper. One more breath. Then inhale back up. Now a little bit different. On the exhale, hands come to hips. Turn both feet forward, right? So make adjustments so that you can see me if you need to. Also, if you need a block in front, and I'll put the block. You could also have a chair in front, okay? So now I've got my legs nice and wide. I turn them in slightly. I turn my toes inwards a little bit, okay? Hands on hips. I'm gonna try to bend just at the groin, okay? Just at the groins. With a straight spine. Bend your knees if you need to. Come part way here, breathing. I'm looking down at my block and I'm going to go down as far as I can before I have to put my hands down. So if you have a block, you can put your hands on that block and try to work yourself down a little deeper. Or if you're able to, block away, palms right down on the mat, or you could use a chair, right? Lifting up those sits bones as you bring the elbows kind of to face back. Breathe here, Prasarita Padottanasana. Then inhale partway up. Take your hands along the outer ankles and exhale back down again. If that's too intense, please do the first one. Then inhale back up partway again. Now take your hands way forward and palm it down. Palms are right down to the mat and drop into wide leg downward dog. Heels are down though. Have a look at each heel. Toes are spread. Lift up those sits bones. Try to really lengthen just like a downward dog. Then walk your hands in towards your body, turn your left foot out and lunge towards that left, okay? I'm trying to get my left shoulder to push into my left inner knee, if you can, okay? Not that you have to. And just hold there and breathe. And I'm trying to keep my right foot down, okay? And then some of you bind here. I know some of you are amazing binders where the left arm comes under the thigh, the right arm over behind the back, and you hold your hands together. Oh yeah. Come out carefully, stay super low. Go to the other side. Remember, the breath is so important. If you say, you know, I'm really tight today, and maybe you haven't been practicing, certainly get to that YouTube site of all my videos that I'm gifting you with, and please do some practices. And then if you want to bind, go ahead. This side's a little harder for me too. Releasing, coming back to center, hands on hips if you can. Knees could be bent a little, you decide. Come all the way back up. Woohoo! And either walk your feet in or take a little jump. And palms face forward. And once again, come to that place of alertness, but also that sense of ease. So Sukha, Sthira Sukha, it's called. Sthira Sukha Asanam. There's a sense of alertness, but there's deep ease. And there's also like a sense of inner contentment. And then go ahead and just move around a little bit. Yeah, awesome. You're sticking with me. I love it. Okay. So now you get your choice, okay? Class choice. You decide what other balancing pose you would like to do, standing balancing pose. And it might be another tree pose. It might be a half lotus. You might want to do the dancer. We haven't done that in a while. You might want to do Ardha Chandrasana, the balance. That's what I'm going to work on again today. I did do it out in the woods last week. It was really neat to do that. Okay, so decide what it's going to be, what you're going to need, wall, chair, block, okay? And we're going to go to one side, and you're going to stay on that side until I tell you we're done with it. That means you could come in and out if you have to, okay? So here we go. Find wherever you're at. Here's your practice. So when we hold a pose for a while, it gives us amazing opportunity to explore. What's the monkey mind up to, right? To explore, where is the body asking for extra love, extra attention? To explore what we are averse to. Our aversions can create total turmoil in our lives. And we've got another 3 breaths on this side. That's a lot. Hold and breathe. And take your hand to your hip or wherever you are in whatever pose, sorry, and come out. Oh my gosh. And once out, just stand again. Try to come to your Sthira Sukha. So Sthira, S-T-H-I-R-A, Sthira, ease, this kind of alert contentment.
Sukha is like a sense of goodness. Okay, let's go to the other side. All right. Who knows what this side is going to bring us, right? I get excited about that. Like it's a challenge for me. All right. But I'm so grateful. I'm so grateful I got to wake up again. I'm so grateful that I get to be doing this with all of you. I'm so grateful that I'm living somewhere where I feel safe. There's just so much, right? So much. And let's hold for another 3 breaths. Remember, you can always come out, go back in, or just come out and wait. And then bring it out slowly and carefully. That's where we can hurt ourselves, is at the end of a pose. Once again, come back up and come back to your Sthira Sukha. I wanted to read you a little message here from Martin Luther King Jr. If you lose hope, somehow you lose the vitality that keeps life moving. You lose the courage to be, that quality that helps you go on in spite of it all. And so today, I still have a dream. I still have a dream. That's why we're still here. And let's take our palms together. Just take a moment, honoring ourselves, so important. And then from here, make your way down, back down to the mat, all the way down to the mat, back down to sitting. Okay. Oh, yeah. Once back down to sitting, bringing feet bottoms together. They don't have to be super close in. You decide. Getting a hold of each foot separate. Lean back. And if you can, push, pull to lift your legs up and maybe all the way up. So see where you're going. Now, what does it take to do this? So much, so much. Stay focused with it. If you fall out, it's okay. Come back. Hold a little longer. Gaze up. And then carefully, slowly, as easily as possible, come back down. Now, cup underneath both feet and lift up really tall. Really tall. And take several exhales, relaxing the knees downwards while lifting the spine up. And finally, with this, we release the feet, we bring the knees in, and we take it right over to boat pose. Oh yeah, right over to boat pose. Yes, look at you all. That's so awesome. Try to lift your chest more. Those who are working on it, working to straighten knees, could even bring palms together. There you go. Nice. And rest. Let your head go for just a moment. And then roll yourselves all the way down to the mat. Once down, bring those knees in. And we'll once again rock side to side. So I like to keep my knees nice and wide. And just check in, what is the quality, what is the feeling of rocking side to side now versus earlier? A whole hour and a half ago, can you believe it? And then come back to center. Put both feet down. We're getting ready for knee down twist. So we're going to cross right knee tightly over left, arms out to the sides.
And then scoot your butt to the right and put it back down. Then drop your knees to the left, head to the right, and hold here breathing. So you're working towards getting this right shoulder down to the mat. It's okay if it's not all the way there. And come back up. And let's go ahead and bicycle, just really super easy, really super easy. And then take yourself to the other side. Other side. So this is called a body weight pose, where we're literally using the weight of our knees together to stretch out that outer hip, of our heavy arms to stretch the chest. And come back to center. We're going to have our knees bent, feet flat, feet apart, hands on your belly. We did this much earlier in the class. Close your eyes and take 3 nice, easy breaths, nice and slow. Remember, we can control our breath, and that can control so many facets of our lives. Then if you chose to bring in a rolled blanket or a bolster, I'm going to offer you this restorative where you're not sitting on it, but you're near it. Okay, it's along your spine. And as you can see, I laid back on this bolster and let my arms relax. I've got my legs nice and wide. And I'm just going to take, you could even choose to do your Shavasana like this. Now, if you choose to not do this, you might want legs up the wall or legs on a chair, or you might want to do a shoulder stand, a headstand, something in your practice that allows you to relax into depth. And we're going to take at least a minute here. And like I said, you can also take it right into your Shavasana if you want, but I'll let you know when that comes. And so now you have a choice. You can slowly bring yourself out of this pose that you chose, or you can stay in it for the next couple minutes, or else bring yourself into your form of Shavasana. Okay, whatever that is. You know at this point in your practice what feels really good right now. A place to center everything we've done. A place where there's a sense of safety and ease as well. And take a soft, easy belly breath and just let go. And we'll start to make our way out now, our way back our way back to a day of positive action, whatever that is for you. Come out of it gently with ease for yourself and work your way up to sitting once again. Take your time. As you can see, I've chosen a seated cross-legged position, but I've put my half blocks, they're about 2-inch thick foam under each knee, and I'm up on the lift just a little bit, and it feels so good for me right now. So good. So find what feels right for you. We're going to take a mudra. We're going to take our left palm up, and then with your right hand, hold your left thumb. So just grab your thumb with your right hand, grab your left thumb. Then take your left fingers and just lay them along your right hand. So it looks like a conch shell. It's called Shanka, and Shanka, I believe, means shell, okay? And so just rest that easily at heart space, Shanka. Reassurance. Shanka, the key word for Shanka is reassurance, inner well-being, inner nourishment, and safety. And I've been taking this mudra in the evenings while I rest. And let me read to you a passage from Mother Teresa. May today there be peace within. May you trust that you are exactly where you are meant to be. May you not forget the infinite possibilities that are born of faith in yourself and others. May you use the gifts that you have received and pass on the love that has been given to you. May you be content with yourself just the way you are. Let this knowledge settle into your bones and allow your soul the freedom to sing, dance, praise, and love. It is there for each and every one of us. Let's release Shanka Mudra. Take palms together. Take an exhale. Inhale. Oh. 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 Om Shanti. Om peace.